Hi, Debbie Chu here from Chew on Vegan, and welcome back to my kitchen. If you're new here, I'm a plant-based RN and I follow the Starch Solution. The Starch Solution was a program developed by Dr. John McDougall, and if you would like some more information, I will leave a link to his book in the description box below. On his program, I was able to lose those last 15 pounds without calorie counting, portion control, measuring, counting carbs, none of that. Just eating whole food plant-based, no oil, and eating till I'm comfortably full. On my channel, you will find quick and easy whole food plant-based recipes. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell because I do post videos every Tuesday and Saturday. You can also follow me on Instagram. And if you're new to this way of eating or curious about it, or maybe you've been doing it a while and you just need some support, I started a Facebook group. We're a group of like-minded people, and there you will find inspiration, recipes, and support. I'll leave a link to my Facebook group below, and I hope you join. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you a couple of low-fat, low-calorie density foods that are great for weight loss. If you don't know what low-calorie density is, I'm going to show you a chart right here. There's foods listed on here and it shows their calories per pound. As you can see, we start on the bottom with 100 calories per pound, and then it goes all the way up to 4,000 calories per pound, which is oil, the most calorie dense food on this planet. So that's why the Starch Solution, we don't use any oil, we don't cook with oil, we don't saute in oil. It's very easy not to use oil, and today's recipes are going to be a good example of that. But first I want to show you what I'm going to be having for breakfast, and this is something that I did for my batch cooking, and it's oatmeal, and I've got some bananas and I've got some blueberries on top, and I cooked this with zucchini and riced cauliflower and some cinnamon. I had an extra one. I had made 6, and I had one for every day of the week last week, and then I have an extra one, so I'm going to have that today, and I'm just going to heat this up in the microwave. Today is a filming day, so I'm going to be very busy, so I'm very happy that I had this in the fridge, and so I'm just going to heat this up, and I'm going to eat breakfast, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you those 2 recipes. Okay, so we're just going to kick it old school with our slow cooker. Yes. I decided to do a recipe in a slow cooker. I know some of you do not have an Instant Pot, nor do you want an Instant Pot. So this recipe, of course, you can make in the Instant Pot, you can make it on the stove, but I'm going to show you in my slow cooker. It's so easy, and let's get started. We're going to throw everything into the slow cooker. So we're going to start with a can of black beans, rinsed and drained. We've got a can of diced fire roasted tomatoes. I'm going to use about a 1/4 cup of red lentils, and this is really going to give it some substance. It kind of soaks up the liquid, thickens it up. I really like it. It's a little liquid smoke. And then I've got a carrot and a sweet potato. I used a murasaki, and then I've got a red onion. You can use whatever kind of onion you'd like. And some spices. I have some smoked paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, a little cayenne, a little chili powder. Exact measurements will be in the description box. Then I'm going to add some veggie broth. Give it a stir. I'm not adding any salt to this recipe because the beans had salt. I got low salt, but there's still some salt in that. The tomatoes have a little bit of salt. I don't think I need any salt in here. Of course, if you want salt, you can do that. So I'm gonna cook this on high for 4 hours, or you could cook it on low for 8 hours, depending on if you're doing this before work or what you wanna do. So I'm just gonna get this started. Oh, and I almost forgot. A little bit of maple syrup, just to kind of balance out the spicy, and I like the contrast. And you could add other things to this. You could add corn, you could add red peppers. I'm just keeping it simple and old school with our slow cooker. Okay, the second dish I'm going to make is a quinoa bowl. So we're gonna start by making our quinoa, and I'm just gonna use my ancient rice cooker. You can do this in the Instant Pot or you can do it on the stove, however you want to do it. I like to use the tricolor quinoa, the organic tricolor quinoa from Trader Joe's. It's a blend of white, red, and black quinoa. You can use whatever color quinoa you want. You don't have to do the three, but I think it looks pretty. So I've got a cup of quinoa, and I really suggest that you rinse your quinoa. And when I rinse my quinoa, I really get in there with my fingers. There's kind of something like a little residue on there or something that, to me, it makes it taste funny. So just throw that in there. So that's 1 cup of quinoa. And then I've got 2 cups of bouillon. So that's standard, just like how you make rice. And I'm using bouillon because it's going to give it a lot of flavor. I'm also using a teaspoon of each of onion powder, garlic powder, and cumin. So we'll stir that in. And the quinoa is just going to soak up all that flavor, and it's going to just be so delicious. So I'm going to get this started, and then we'll work on the other ingredients. One of the ingredients in the quinoa bowl is going to be butternut squash. It is fall, all the squash are in, and I love butternut squash. So I just peeled this, cut this into little bite-sized pieces, then I'm just gonna season it up with, of course, garlic powder, little onion powder, little smoked paprika, and of course you can season these with any kind of seasoning you want. And then a little cumin, so it's going to kind of mimic what we've got going on in the quinoa. So just, this is about a half a teaspoon. And the other I just eyeballed. And then just toss it around with your hands, get it all over. And just kind of make sure it's in a single layer so they all cook evenly. And you don't need oil because see the seasonings stick just fine to this. So this is going to go into a 400-degree oven for 20 to 30 minutes till they're tender. I will check them after 20 and in they go. Okay, the quinoa is done. And then I'm just going to fluff it with a fork. Then I'm going to add some cilantro and some green onion. And stir that in. Okay, I'm just gonna put the lid back on and we're gonna let this just kind of steam in here, and then I'm gonna make a quick little dressing and I'm gonna show you how I do that. So now let's build our bowl and I'll get to the dressing. So I've got some quinoa, then I'm gonna add some baby arugula. I've got some broccoli, and some red onion. And you can build this however you want, of course. I've got a little red pepper. I just like to get a bunch of colors on here. And then some tomato. And then we're gonna get that beautiful butternut squash. And of course some beans, some black beans. Look at how pretty that came out. Yum. Now that is one beautiful bowl. So now let's get the dressing. So for the dressing, I just made a really quick light cashew cream, and I just used a 1/4 cup of cashews in about a cup of water, so it's pretty dilute. And then I just took a 1/4 cup of that, and then a 1/4 cup of my 3-2-1 dressing, and I'm just gonna mix these two together. And it's gonna create a creamy vinaigrette. Then we just pour this over our bowl. Yum. Tastes good too. So I only used about a 1/4 cup of that dressing, and that's gonna be plenty. So I don't feel bad about the cashews. I don't feel like it's too high fat. This is still a low fat meal, still great for weight loss. Okay, this has been on for 4 hours on high. Looks pretty good. Let's taste it. So we've got our sweet potato black bean chili that we made in the slow cooker, 4 hours on high. You could do 8 hours on low, it'd be the same thing. And it looks amazing. Let's take a bite here, it's hot. Oh my gosh, it's sweet. Could have probably used a little bit more cayenne, but really good. So those are my 2 recipes for today. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you give them a try. Definitely fall inspired with the butternut squash and the sweet potato. Really hearty and wholesome. Low fat, high carb, low calorie density, everything you could want in a recipe to help you lose weight. And as you know, all my recipes are good for you, they're good for the animals, and they're good for the planet, and what you put on your plate determines your fate and your weight. Until next time, thank you. Hi, Debbie Chu here from Chew on Vegan. I don't know what this was. Let's try that again. And as you can see, there are certain foods, and you can see it as, if I could talk, that would be great. I always make such a mess. I don't know how these young YouTubers do it.